me to come to you, right?
Okay. I'm waiting.
All right, let me explain something.
Yeah.
Usually a theist, I'm a theist, so I believe in one God,
Yep.
and I believe that God is the organizer, the lawmaker of the universe, all right? Now, for me to prove that to you, usually some people, they go for something like the fine-tuning argument. The fine-tuning argument goes the following. It goes like this. It goes that, look at the order around the world, yeah? The fact that the universe can harbor human life, the probability of that being the case, or not being the case, will be like 0.0 or whatever. In other words, that you'd have something like the gravitational constant, that you'd have something like all of these. Yeah, it's almost impossible.
Yes.
I would say that there's a problem with that argument. There's only one problem. The problem is this: if we take determinism, or the idea that there's an uninterrupted causal line of events, as something which is a given, which is actually undeniable, you could argue, yeah, that actually there is an uninterrupted causal line of events, yeah. Then really the chance that this universe could have been with the constituencies that it has is zero. The reason why is because there's no such thing as chance. Chance doesn't exist. Chance and randomness are in fact a byproduct of our ignorance. If we say this is random, or this is chaotic, or this is chance, what in fact we're saying is we cannot explain these set of variables. Had we had more information and understood why things are the way they are, we would be able to explain why this thing is acting the way it does. So in other words, the idea of chance factors contributing to the reason why things are the way they are is, even by the admission of atheists themselves, Sam Harris case in point, an impossibility from a philosophical perspective. So therefore, I would say to you, number one, I believe that there's an organizer, a lawmaker of the universe. My proof for that is that there couldn't have been chance, not because of the probability, like I've used before the example. If I took a bag of letters and I threw it on the letters, L-E-T-T-E-R-S. No, not letters. Okay. No. If I took a bag of letters, yeah, and like let's say 1 billion letters, yeah, and I shake it up nice and good, and I throw it on the floor, it's not going to be William Shakespeare's Macbeth.
So that you must have heard that argument that if you gave 100 monkeys typewriters,
type it, yeah. But what I'm saying. Good, but what I'm saying to you now is that chance does not exist, and there's no way of you proving it. So for me to say, okay, look, okay, go on. I'm asking. Yeah.
I'll get a bag of 1 billion letters, and we can stand here for 100
Good,
years.
But now the 100 monkeys being...
There's a
Listen.
chance, but it's a chance.
But,
and of course chance exists.
But Lindsay,
why is it Lindsay? Call me Lindsay.
Oh, sorry, was you saying?
You haven't asked my name yet. Oh, I'm Angela.
No, I don't shake hands with women for religious reasons. Yeah, for religious reasons.
In that case, I don't think I can speak to you anymore.
Why? Is that what?
Because I think that's really offensive.
No, men... But hold on.
Shake hands.
No, but hold on. Let me tell you something though, yeah? This is good. It shows you that they're incapable of having conversation with someone who doesn't believe in certain values. So they wouldn't be shaking hands with a tribal leader in Africa. They'd walk away from them. Because you're not allowed to shake hands with tribal leaders in Africa. If you had a Jew, you wouldn't shake hands with them because an Orthodox Jew. So in other words, if you don't believe in our liberal values the way we accept them and the way we shape them and the way then we're not going to have conversations with you. So that's intolerance. That's liberal intolerance. And I'm very happy it was on camera. Walk away. It's feministic intolerance. White person's intolerance. Very good. I'm very happy. Walk away. Because you know what? I'm going to speak to people on my terms. You know, if you don't want to touch me, you don't have to touch me. I'm not going to force you to touch me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And this is the ridiculousness of feminism. Let's move on the subject. Let's change the subject to something else. If a woman, think about this from a second wave feministic discourse. If a woman decided that she doesn't want to be touched by a man, and that was her feministic stance, that actually I don't want to be, you know, touched by a man, etc., then it would be a matter of stance, a matter of ideology. And if I were to protest against that, I'll say, look, this is the autonomous decision making of a woman who is second wave feminist, who decided that she doesn't want to be touched by a man. Why should you enforce your will to touch a man? And in the same way now, as Muslims, we're being forced to do certain things, like having a discussion of someone in the park, and at one point she says, okay, I'm not going to speak to you because you're not shaking my hand. So what's next? The point is this, is that as Muslims, we don't need to deal with people like that, to be honest with you. As conservative, or whatever you want to call us, orthodox or traditionalist Muslims, if you don't want to speak to me on my terms, look, I'm accepting the fact that you might be a homosexual. I only ask you your pronouns. I mean, I don't even know what you are. If you're a man or woman or whatever, you know, Lindsay or whatever your name is, Jack, John, and your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whoever it is that you had with you. Because I don't know the pronouns of that individual that you had with you, that both of you walked away. But for me, say for example, I'm not in favor of transgenderism as a stance, that you can actually change your biological sex from man to woman. I'm happy to have a conversation with someone who identifies themselves as a woman, even though they're biologically born as a man. Why? Because this is meant to be a free discussion with people that believe in different things. You can't handle it when someone doesn't want to shake your hand or touch your body, or doesn't want you to touch their hand or shake their body? What's wrong with you? You know, at the end of the day, this is liberal, the muscular liberalism that David Cameron was talking about, which in fact is an impingement of traditionalist rights. We as Muslims have to stand here and say, you know what, if you don't want to talk to us on that basis, then we don't need to talk to you anyway. Because as Muslims, we have our own standards. And our own standards are based on Quran, Sunnah. If you can't accept that, if liberalism can't, and its permutations, feministic, liberalistic permutations, can't tolerate anything other than itself. Listen carefully. If liberalism and its feministic permutations cannot tolerate anything other than itself, I say to you, then what kind of liberalism is that? You don't even understand this ideology that you claim to believe in. If you're a free-willed, someone who believes in free will, as her point was, and liberalism, then really, why should you force me to touch you? Why should you force me to touch you? This whole thing of, and it's been part of the discourse nowadays, shake my hand or else. What? I'm a traditionalist Muslim. I might decide not to shake your hand. What, am I forced now to do something outside of my will? Because that becomes a kind of totalitarian system. You got to do this and you got to do that. All right, let's go to the synagogues and force the men and women to be together. Let's go to the synagogues and get the Orthodox Jews and get them to shake your hand. Same thing. Let's go to, and that's why we don't see them. We don't see those kinds of discourses with Jews. It's very unfair. When you look at, actually, I was looking recently on a Daily Mail newspaper, and they were showcasing the marriage between Jewish Orthodox people, and in that marriage, there was a separation between men and women. A full separation between men and women. Now think of this. Instead of criticizing, as they have with the Muslim community, the act of separating men and women, what they instead decided to do was, in a sense, talk about the interesting nature of that, without a negative undertone or subtext. So what I'm trying to say is that how comes you have this way of dealing with the Jewish community, but when it comes to the Muslim community, you're starting to do this. Now look, what I'm saying is that as Muslims, if you can't handle having people that believe in different things in your community, then you can't handle your own ideology. It's not even about us anymore. You don't even abide by the principles you set for yourselves. And so we have to retune the narratives. I think that nowadays there's a white person getting too rowdy like that. So to be honest, that's what it is. The white man thinks he's better than me. I see that white girl thought she was better than me. I'm not going to talk to you. Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you or your boyfriend there or girlfriend. To be honest with you, I don't know what she is or he is or it is that you had there with you, next to you. And I don't want to talk to any white man thinking they're better than me. Come on equal terms, you understand? Just because I'm brown and believe in something different. Don't try and colonialize me. I'm not your little slave and you're my master. We're past those days, my man. Bring your qualifications, I'll bring mine. I'm probably more qualified than you. Yeah, let's do an IQ test. The one that this racist Ralph was, I'll probably get higher than you. Don't try it. Don't try it. This is the message to the white colonialist, neoliberal orientalist. Don't try it with us no more. Because as Muslims, we're not going to have it anymore. And not only as Muslims, as ethnics in this country. If you can't handle the fact that we have baggage from other countries, you shouldn't have called us after the Second World War and your infrastructure was banged up. And you needed some blue-collar workers to fix up the country. Because we are the outgrowth of that. We are the children of those immigrants that you called over. If you don't really like it, that you have brown people with different beliefs in your country, then your forefathers are the ones who called us here. If you don't really like it that you have Muslims in this country, don't call yourselves liberal no more. Just move to an authoritarian style government. We got no time for you. Yeah? At the end of the day, your liberalism means nothing to us. And that's why I say that the white colonial overlord narrative is bankrupt now. We don't need it no more. A woman walking away because I don't want to shake her hand. What's next? What, you want me to lick something? Or kiss something? What? What, seriously? Oh, maybe 3 years from now, a woman's gonna do this and show me her breast and say, look, this is the white man's way of greeting. Can you touch my breast? I say, look, man, I'm not really into touching breasts of other women. I say, but this is how we do things in our country. No, seriously. I say, okay, well, touch the breast. I say, look, man, I'm not gonna touch your breast. I said, no, touch these, both. Next thing, get on your knees, please. No, seriously, like what? Where is it gonna end? If you shake the hand today and they try and force you to do that, next thing is touch the breast. What? Why should I touch your A cups or whatever you got? I don't want to do that, I'm afraid. So at the end of the day, I think that the narrative ends here and the buck stops here. We've had enough. We're not going to do what you want. And by the way, you have no legal right over me. You can't say, oh, you have to check. No, no thanks. No thank you. And your boyfriend that you had there, what? Your little boyfriend that you had, I'm not sure what his pronouns or her pronouns are. Yeah, we want to play the game. I don't know. What is it he or she or it? I don't know. What, should I shake his hand as well? I don't even know if he's a man or a woman. So next time, don't try it. Okay, next time, don't try it. And the neo-colonial narrative ends here. So as Muslims, we have to, we start growing the confidence again. Walking away because I want to shake